Verse 227. Causation, the Dhatus, Skandhas, and the self-nature of all things, thought construction, a personal soul and mind, they are all like a dream, like a hairnet. So we've covered all of this stuff before. Causation. Causation in a Buddhist context usually refers to the cycle of conditioned co-production, the Praticca Samutpada. This is a core teaching of the Buddha which spells out the chain of conditioning which keeps us locked into the cycle of samsara, the cycle of suffering. The Dhatus and the Skandhas. Again, if you want to find out more, there are videos about them. Video 13 was about the Skandhas. Or you can just look up Wikipedia. But the Dhatus and the Skandhas are ways of getting over the idea of a personal soul. The Dhatus are the elements of experience, and they relate to the fields of the senses. So for example, the eyes see visual objects, and there's also awareness of seeing a visual object. So that's three of the Dhatus. There's the visible object, the eye, and awareness of seeing. And it's the same for hearing. There's a sound that you hear, and there's awareness of hearing it, and so on. And there's also a sixth category. The mind is that sense which perceives thoughts. So there's thoughts, there's the perception of thoughts, and there's consciousness of that. So this is all there is. These are the Dhatus, 18 altogether, 6 times 3. And they represent 3 of the Skandhas. Form is that which is attracting the attention. The word is rupa, which is usually translated as form, but it could be anything. It could be any sense object. So it could be sound or a smell. It's anything which attracts the attention. The other 2 Skandhas are perception and consciousness. So these 3 represent the Dhatus. And along with these 3, we have feelings in the sense of sensations. We have sensations which can be pleasant, unpleasant, or we can be indifferent to them. And then there's our own psychological patterns, the habit of our moods. So this is all there is. This is all there is. They're the elements of sense experiencing. There's feelings, and there's our moods. That's it. The whole mental world, remember, is included in the Dhatus. So that's the Dhatus and the Skandhas. The self-nature of all things. Well, in Buddhism we're told they have no self-nature, and notions to the contrary are all thought constructions. Personal soul, mind, they are all like a dream, like a hairnet. The hairnet isn't an obvious simile, but I think the idea is they give shape. All these things are a way of giving shape to our experience. It's a way of getting a handle on it, a way of getting a conceptual handle on what we experience. A few videos back, I had to challenge one of my own favourite conceptual handles, and I was reluctant to let go of it, and it was the one of mathematics. I don't know if the Buddhists ever said anything about mathematics, but I think in the context of our modern culture, we need to be able to relate mathematics and science to the Buddhist understanding, because there tends to be an assumption that science and mathematics are concerned with truth. I've got this big volume by Roger Penrose, one of the great geniuses in the field. It's called The Road to Reality. I think that's what it's called. I haven't looked at it for a while. So he is stating what is essentially a prejudice. You know, this great scientific mathematical mind has no doubt that he's following the road to reality. It's quite an extraordinary assumption, actually, and you wonder what the basis for it is. People will say, well, science works, and science is based on mathematics. Mathematics is objective, it's not based on prejudice or belief. And these were arguments that personally I'm inclined to go along with. I'm a fan of mathematics. I studied mathematics. I used to be a mathematics teacher, for goodness sake. But the thing is, it's no more than a hairnet. It's a way of creating structures. People might say it's about discerning structures, but I think if you look into mathematics beyond school techniques, you'll see it's very much about creating structures. I think in the hope that these structures might relate or reflect something real. And the way that's tested is if you can make predictions based on these theories which come true, and then you'll say, well, the theory is true. But I'm not sure that that's a criterion for truth. The point is, though, mathematics is part of the dream world. It's simply a prejudice to believe that it's something else. Just like we have this prejudice of the waking state over the dream state. Whereas what we're being told here is all these structures are like a dream. And this is very important. It's very important for the Buddhist, because the Buddhist, in dismissing the idea of the individual soul, starts believing in the truth of the Skandhas, whereas it's only provisional. It's just there to unhook the prejudice of a personal soul, a transmigrating soul even. But there's nothing true about these things. There's nothing true about Buddhist ideas in contrast to conventional ideas. Buddhist ideas have a purpose. They're not stating the truth. Their purpose is to pry us loose from our convictions in conventional understanding. And I'll probably have to do a little bit more work to pry myself loose from the conviction in mathematics as some path to reality. I think the most obvious thing is that mathematics is about ideas. Mathematics is very much about the discriminating mind. It's a function of manas. Mathematics is a function of manas. It's got nothing to do with awareness. And I wonder if this might be one of the reasons why so many brilliant mathematicians are quite insane. It's possible, and I hate to say it, but it's possible that mathematics is actually a higher state of ignorance. I don't mean a better state, I mean a more thorough state. So there we go. Verse 228 tells us, seeing the world is like Maya in a dream, one abides with the truth. The truth indeed is free from individual marks, removed from speculative reasoning. So that hits the nail on the head pretty well. Seeing the world like a dream, or seeing the world as the dream that it is quite a good practice. Well, it's an excellent practice. I mentioned it previously in Wangyal Rinpoche's book. There's a very good practice given at the end, which I've read out before, but I think I'll read it out again. It's on page 209. Throughout the day, continuously remain in the awareness that all experience is a dream. Encounter all things as objects in a dream, all events as events in a dream, all people as people in a dream. Envision your own body as a transparent, illusory body. Imagine you are in a lucid dream during the entire day. Do not allow these reminders to be merely empty repetition. Each time you tell yourself this is a dream, actually become more lucid. Involve your body and your senses in becoming more present. Become more aware. And then one abides with the truth. The truth indeed is free from individual marks. In other words, it's not a thing. The truth is not a thing. It cannot be described. It's removed from speculative reasoning. And what is mathematics if not speculative reasoning? So, let's wake up. Let's wake up to awareness.